We're very proud of the many new young people we've presented on this show, and the ones who've gone on to nice careers beyond our show. We have a newcomer today, a young comic and a writer from Canada. He's done pretty well since coming to the United States. As a writer, he and his partner this year are writing the Gomer Pyle Show. As a comic, he's cut an album, appeared 3 times at San Francisco's Hungry Eye, twice on Talent Scouts. Ladies and gentlemen, some acts need no introduction, but this young fella needs all the help he can get. Here's John Barbour. John?
Thank you very, very much, folks. I'm appearing here for the first time on the Merv Griffin Show through the courtesy of the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Canadian People. Canadian? I know how proud you feel, miss. I'm not going back either. I am not going to say anything tonight about the Canadian government because, as you will all recall, about 4 years ago in Canada, the Communist Party actually tried to overthrow our government, gave up when they couldn't find it. Then finally found him with some German girl, but of course, since being in this country, I've discovered that we need an organization to help us as a minority group down here because we don't do quite as good as some of your own minority groups. For example, when I first got down here, I called an agent. I said, "Hello, my name is John Barbour. I'm down here from Canada. I'm a comic and I'm looking for representation." He said, "Are you white?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "That's no good." I said, "I'm half Jewish." He said, "That used to be good." My mother's Jewish and my father's Scotch. As a youngster, my dad said he could mix anything with Scotch, but when I was growing up, this arrangement caused me a lot of difficulties, you know. I mean, aside from having to eat oatmeal bagels all the time. When my mother took me to synagogue, I was the only boy with a plaid skull cap. You haven't heard anything till you've heard me play Haba Nagil and the bagpipes. Hey, did you see in the New York Times today where 5 members of the Jordanian underground held up the Bank of Israel in Tel Aviv and got away with 100,000 in pledges? But coming from Canada, I don't have a great deal of money, and I try to allow myself one luxury in life. I drive an American automobile. It's a $15,000 1963 Lemon. That's how much I put into it. I've had it 3 months. My mechanics had it 3 years. You know, I used to read a lot that American automobiles were timed to fall apart, but that's not true. There's no set time. They can go at any minute. Already, I'm using over 2 quarts of oil a day just to keep the doors from squeaking. It's the original color, aluminum. The only thing that works in my car is the lighter. That gives off a constant flame. Well, I wouldn't say it smokes a lot, but the other day I pulled into a gas station, which is unusual because ordinarily I'm being pushed. And I said to the attendant, "Fill her up, please." He says, "I'm sorry, we're out of wood." When I was driving down here from Canada, I stopped for a hitchhiker. He wanted out. I drink when I drive, otherwise I'd never get in it. You know, what I'm looking forward to, though, is I'm looking forward to seeing the new line of sports cars that are coming out of Detroit next year. I understand that one giant corporation is coming out with a special sports car that they feel is going to be a very big seller in places like Mississippi. It's the new Imperial Wizard. It only comes in white, and under the hood, nothing. I was reading the other day about, the Klan down south. Oh, by the way, in Canada, our largest selling periodical happens to be Mad Magazine. Down here, you call it Time. I was reading about the rise of the Klan in some areas of the country and black power in other parts of the country. And you know, since your civil rights revolution started down here, it's also affected all the Negroes in Canada, both of them. As a result of everything that's been going on, in preparing for my citizenship, I've been studying American history and Japanese karate. I studied karate for about 4.5 years, and I want you to know I speak it very well. Oh, that breaking the boards, that's not karate. The grunting, that's karate. That's karate. The breaking the boards just helps you to speak it. 'Cause, see, that's karate for, oh, dang, that's smart. Well, you figured out, supposing you're out on the street some night and somebody comes up to you and they're about 10 feet away and they got a gun, which happens quite frequently in New York. And she says to you, all right, Mac, give me your money. Now, what good are your hands? Really, except to reach in your pocket and give her the money. But if they point that gun at you and they're 10 feet away and they say, all right, Mac, give me your money, and you say to them in karate, they're not going to think you're smart enough to have a whole lot. Well, you know where I first studied it? I studied it in one of these stores here in New York City. You know, that's where all the karate experts work out of these little stores. What they did is they went into the stores and beat up the gypsies and took their stores away from them. Some of you obviously have not studied karate. Others of you might be experts, and you may think that perhaps I'm putting you on, but I do know all the basic fundamentals in karate. And, for example, to prove my point, in karate, this is the basic stance you assume, right after you've been kicked. Fortunately, though, I've never had to use it, except before I came out here, I was addressing a freedom rally out of Berkeley, and afterwards I was attacked by 6 pacifists. What these fellows didn't realize was I had learned to split a 4.5-inch pine board with my bare foot, and when these 6 guys jumped me, they broke my arms, broke my legs. Just couldn't seem to get my shoes and socks off. I do want to thank you very, very, very much indeed for being so nice to me. And I would like to also say, since I've been down here, I noticed that when foreign performers get up in this country, American audiences are very nice. And I am not as yet a citizen. I'm about to become one shortly. My brother is a citizen of your country, and needless to say, that's a day he'll never forget, because that was the day he was drafted.